Okay, a quick demonstration on translating your energy or translating your force. For every force, there's an equal and opposite force. So if I push on Lori, her body's going to push back on me with the same force. And the only way I'm going to shove her back is to overcome the force of her pushing back on me. And that's called translating your energy. So I'm going to have Lori stand with her feet together. And I'm going to approach her, and let's say to save her life, she's going to have to push me away in a dark parking lot. So I'm going to come to her, she's going to push me away. And you see she had basically no strength. She couldn't translate energy into me. She pushed on me really hard, but the force went as much into her as into me. So now I'm going to have her separate her legs this way, here, so she'll have a firmer base and a better connection to the earth, and then push on me. But if you notice what happened in that demonstration is her body absorbed force and absorbed force and absorbed force and absorbed force, and at some point all the soft tissue in her body collapsed, compressing, and when her diaphragm collapsed, her spine collapsed, all her soft tissue collapsed. At some point it hit a stop, and it couldn't absorb any more of my energy, and then her energy began to overpower mine. And I'm saying that when you lift weights, if you do it that way, that's how you get injured. If you play sports and you do it that way, that's get injured. If I'm going to hit somebody with 200 pounds of force because I'm a linebacker running toward them, I can't afford to absorb their 200 pounds of force into my soft tissue each time I do that. One goes through. Push through me like I don't exist. Don't gather strength and then overcome me. Just push through. Stand and straighten your arms through me just like that, as if you're touching something back here. Yes, that's it. That's it, right there. Okay. Okay, the next concept that's very important is called a thoracic tilt. It's actually, if I look across the center of my chest here, I want to move that line upward. It only goes up about a ½ inch. It only goes up that little bit. But I do it by closing my shoulder blades together in the back and reaching toward the floor. It's back and down. It's not up like this. It's back and down, and I lift my chest. If it's a woman with breasts, I always tell her, push your girls up. If it's a guy with pecs, I'm going to put your chest up. But you do it by closing your shoulder blades and putting your chest back. This makes your spine really solid and makes you, in a weightlifting concept, it's called staying tight. It makes you really tight and really rigid so that you can push off your chest when you're pushing weights working your chest, or you can pull back and close your back when you're working back. So this is very important when working legs, and a squat is to get your spine perfectly erect and rigid like a solid rod, and having your body really, really tight. You do it with pulling your shoulder blades together in the back this way and lifting your chest up as high as your chest will go and squeezing that and making that the solid base that you push off of. The other part of it is your diaphragm and getting your diaphragm tight. In weightlifting, you do that by saying the word chew when you breathe. It's chew. And I take in a deep breath on the easy part of the lift, like pulling the bar down, and on the hard part, or the part that you're going to push it force for like that, I'll say chew. And the reason I'm saying that chew sound is that so that I don't hold my breath. When you push with weights and you're holding your breath, what happens is called the Valsalva maneuver, where you get an instant, holding your breath and pushing real hard and straining, you get an instant spike in your blood pressure, and your blood pressure goes up to about 190 over 150. If a woman is expecting and her blood pressure spikes like that, she can actually have a miscarriage from her blood pressure getting so high. There are times that it happens when people are constipated and they're going to bathroom and they strain really hard trying to go to the bathroom when they're constipated, and all of a sudden they get real dizzy. Like that. That's that blood pressure spike called the Valsalva maneuver, and we don't want that. So in weightlifting, when you do movements, you go chew, chew. And when you're weightlifting, you may have a momentary second where you're holding your breath as you squeeze to get something going, but you always allow that blood pressure not to spike all the way up, like chew, exhaling, chew, or leg press, chew, or a squat where you come up, chew. And some people will even make it louder by screaming. They'll actually do their guttural sound, "Dah! when they come back up. And that's that breathing technique that you use when you're lifting weights. Okay, the last concept I want to go over today is the concept of that thoracic tilt when you're working your back and how important it is. Most people, when they work their back, they just do a normal pull-down motion like this. And what we want to do to make sure you do that thoracic tilt is mimic what you're going to do when you do a pull-up. If my hands are up here and I'm doing a pull-up, the first thing I do is I pull up this way and I do that thoracic tilt. And then I continue to pull up and raise myself all the way to the top, and I lower myself back down. I then get a stretch and do that thoracic tilt again. So in order to mimic that on a pull down, it's very important that you also initiate with that same shrug. So if I'm sitting here this way, you can step back for now. I'll tell you when. You can shrug down and shrug back up. And if you notice, the weight is going up and down about 6 or 7 inches, and I'm not bending my arms, but I'm stretched up, stretched down, and pull down. And as I pull down, I'm lifting my chest up. My actual line of my chest is coming up about a ½ inch, and my shoulder blades are coming together, and I pull down to a completion. So that's that thoracic tilt when you're working back, and it mimics a pull-up. It makes a pull-down work like a pull-up. So when you first start doing it, if you touch, or if you touch me on the top of my lats, you're feeling that shrug up in here. But as you pull harder, you're going to feel it deeper down, and deeper down, and deeper down, and you'll actually feel it connecting above your pelvis and the lower part of your spine. Down in there it pulls, which is the origin of your lats. Okay, I think that's